Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to BSV TV. I'm your host Satoshi, and on this show we'll be defending the one and only, truly genuine Bitcoin. The Bitcoin that Satoshi Nakamoto designed in his white paper as a peer-to-peer electronic cash system for the world. Let's get the disclaimers out of the way. So all the statements that you hear on this show are opinion and must only ever be taken as opinion. They are never to be taken as any form of advice, family, financial, sexual or otherwise. And on that note, let's sit back, relax, have some fun and enjoy the show. Get paid for your content in Bitcoin and set your own fee on Streamanity.
Yeah, I'm not surprised I wasn't asked why I'm convinced Craig is Satoshi. I posted on Reddit. He signed in my presence using the private key from block number one, the very first mined Bitcoin block. On a computer that I'm convinced had not been tampered with, on software I'm convinced that had not been tampered with, a message of my choosing.
At InChain, we've just funded a number of universities doing, so far, a test up to 1 gigabyte because it validates what we've already done independently. We've tested up to 380 gigabyte blocks. We've tested 1 million transactions a second and transaction sizes up to 20 megabytes. Super complex scripts. Basically ones that can run operating systems. That's basically all of global commerce times about 50. On top of that, we can have complex scripts. On top of that, we can scale each of those transactions 1,000 times, which effectively means about 1 billion transactions per second, which means we can then have all derivatives, all complex trades. That means high frequency trading. It means everything that happens globally.
Is the market that effectively BSV is going for, is that global e-commerce, which is currently valued at $29 trillion?
No, that's too small.
Buy and sell Bitcoin instantly at bsvgravity.com. And you can now book and pay for your winter holiday at skibsv.com. Good afternoon, everybody. It looks like we are live at 5. I love it when I just scrape in there. I have to do a show every day. I cannot help myself. I am addicted in a good way. It just sets my day up. If there's one thing I aim for, it's for doing the show every day. You know, developing a structure, which is what appears to be taking shape quite nicely. So just for starters, again, I'm expecting lots of newbies visiting my channel soon because I can already see the numbers going up, but it's kind of like a slow drip at the moment. So clearly like inquisitive, intelligent people, which is quite good, which means the quality is high. But I mean, shitcoiners are going to come absolutely flooding in sooner or later. Can't really help it. It's just what's going to happen. But, it's intelligent people first. Then it's smart people who recognize intelligent people, and then it's just the shitcoiners that follow all the smart people. That's just the way it goes. It's kind of like what do they call it? Like trickle down economics. It's trickle down education, trickle down information sort of thing. Because you can't fix stupid. Stupid just doesn't work. That's the end of it. So anyway, the reason I broadcast on Twitch is because I previously did broadcast on YouTube, but YouTube started deleting my channels. Then they started preventing me from editing my shows. Then they actually started deleting my episodes. I was just thought, this is absolutely insane. Something else has got to be done about this. Like, even though I was literally only getting maybe 40 or 50 views, there were YouTube, had put somebody there purposely to monitor my show, and it's just like, I'm honored. Do I really deserve such attention with only getting 50 views when there are other people out there with millions? You have to be monitoring my show. Well, it just goes to show you that the information that I've got is relevant, and my show's still relevant. Otherwise, they wouldn't have made the effort to target it. So, now I use a VPN because usually other shows, Bitcoin shows that go out, as in BSV shows, the IP address gets attacked DOS attacks. You know, it's absolutely crazy what's going on. But this is why we broadcast on Twitch. So to catch the live show every day, it's live at 5, no matter where I'm broadcasting from in the world. Currently in the UK, so it's live at 5 p.m. GMT. Just go to www.twitch.tv/SatoshiTV. When the live show is finished, the trailer is then uploaded onto YouTube, and then the full episode is uploaded onto Streamanity, where you can get paid for your content and set your own fee on Streamanity. Yeah, check it out. So let's start with this intro that seems to be like not rubbing people up the wrong way, rubbing people up the right way, getting under the skin of all these shitcoiners. So I'm going to try and make this fresh. I've got some new video clips to go with this. I absolutely love this. So as we know, the 3rd of January was the start of the Genesis block, even though the white paper was released on the 31st of October. 2 months and 4 days was provided as a reasonable amount of time to give anyone and everyone an equal opportunity to start the network themselves. Hence, the Bitcoin white paper was released on a cryptographic mailing list. It wasn't just kind of like mailed to the local supermarket, you know, thinking that people would see it. It was actually mailed to relevant people who actually knew what they were doing and could have started the network themselves, but they didn't, and Satoshi did. Satoshi started the network on the 3rd of January 2009 and then just simply let the network grow. However, to be considered a commodity, like gold being a commodity that could be used as a medium of exchange, a commodity is something that is common to everyone. It cannot be centrally controlled. And if it cannot be centrally controlled, it means it can be tampered with. And this is why we have the chains here. So to try and explain to any, you know, fairly new people who are seeing my show for the first time as to what happened, like what's BSV, well, let me say this. Satoshi Nakamoto had a vision. That vision was Bitcoin. Bitcoin is Satoshi's vision. Bitcoin is BSV. That's it. So the chain has not stopped. All that's happened is points along the way. The ticker symbol has been socially engineered and maneuvered and stolen effectively, along with the price. But it doesn't stop the chain. It just means that the particular price, you know, value of that chain changes as the ticker symbol moves. But the reason that Blockstream were able to socially engineer control of the ticker symbol is that they broke the chain of signatures that Satoshi had designed in order to keep all the developers and users of the network accountable for everything they did. So it just means that nobody could do anything on the network that no one else would know about. So the first thing they did is the chain split, and then on the 1st of August 2017, and literally by the 24th of August 2017, sure enough, Blockstream had segregated the signatures on the network, completely taken control of it, which made it a private blockchain. It was permission based, which is why Vitalik had to create Ethereum, and because their Blockstream wouldn't allow him permission to build it on top of their blockchain. They refused to scale it. They told everybody a whole load of stuff that it can't scale. Well, it does scale because just check out Bitcoin now. Bitcoin scales massively. They just want everybody to use their centralized Lightning network. And as I said before, data on the Lightning network isn't safe. And if it's not safe, it has no value. And the reason it's not safe is because it doesn't go through the blockchain. That is it. And check this out. If you do not believe me that Blockstream, you think Blockstream do not control BTC, I've got a soundbite right here for you from Samson Mao, who is the Chief Strategy Officer from Blockstream themselves. Take a listen to this. Here we go.
Bitcoin was created by the central bankers that enslave you today. It is their scapegoat.
How do you answer those, Max and Stacey?
I think the evidence is clear that they do not control it. There's 10 years, almost 11 years now of track record.
Yeah, Blockstream controls it.
I'm sorry, go ahead. Who does?
Blockstream.
Oh.
All right.
I was looking at you when I said that.
Yeah, I'm a block. I have a spy. I'm one of the spies. No. So this, it's an interesting. There's
Yeah, it's an interesting. No, there's like literally, he couldn't believe his ears, and that is a genuine reaction. He actually said that. That's it. So, and they were saying, oh, he was joking. Well, if he was joking, why is it factually true? You can't joke about something that is actually a true statement. That was not a joke. That was a statement. He was telling everyone Blockstream controls it because he doesn't see anything wrong with that. That's what he's been paid to do, is control a BTC. But by controlling it, they've crashed its fundamental value to zero and turned it into an absolute shitcoin. So let's just listen to Max Kaiser's response to Samson Mao's statement there. Let's see what he says.
I have come to the conclusion that Bitcoin gets people to do strange things and to say strange things.
That was Max Kaiser's comment after Samson Mao had told him that Blockstream control BTC. He's like, oh, it gets people to say strange things. No, it gets people to say the fundamental truths that you just don't simply have the intellectual capacity to understand, my friends. And that is it. So yeah, there we go. That's BTC for you. Like, with no fundamental value whatsoever, it means it will not be able to economically sustain the network. The network will collapse, and all the data on that chain will disappear when it disintegrates. The whole lot. And yes, it can disappear, just like the Titanic could sink. As we found out, do not think that it is too big to fail. As we saw in the Titanic movie, when the engineer said to Mr. Ismay, she's made of steel, Mr. Ismay. I can assure you she can, and she will, sink. Well, after I think it was Mr. Ismay had said, this ship can't sink. She's made of iron, Mr. Ismay. I can assure you she can, and she will. And she did. Bitcoin is just simply digital. It is digital bits of light. Light that can go out and disappear forever. That's what will happen. So, obviously, after they'd taken control and centralized BTC and turned it into a load of crap, the Bitcoin protocol just simply had to continue, but it got a new ticker symbol and a new price tag, which obviously upset a few people. But it was a fork, so yeah, they were still given Bitcoin, but now they had two. They had BTC, which is a piece of shit, and they had Bitcoin, and they had the same amount. So, you know, happy days. If that was me, I mean, the greatest trade would have been to sell all of your shitcoin and put it into Bitcoin, but. You know, obviously people were very confused about what had gone on, spinning all these political stories. You know, it's a minefield out there, but, you know, you've got to stay sharp and switched on. You've got to know your stuff. You know, don't invest in something you don't know about. So anyway, the Bitcoin just simply continued. And then Roger Ver and his crony mates thought, you know what? We'll now take control of Bitcoin, and we'll turn it into what we want it to be, which is something that is, well, illegal, yeah, and fulfills and encourages illegal activities. Now, if you do that and you're invested in that thing and you've spent money on it, why would you run the risk of law enforcement shutting it down? Because you think it can't. It's not that it can't, it's the fact that it hasn't so far. Because Bitcoin is a genuine commodity. It is common to everyone. The commodity is blockchain technology. And blockchain technology is the foundation layer for all future digital technologies, secured and underpinned by economic principles. And those economic principles is being Bitcoin. But Roger was just like, right, you know what we're going to do? We're going to make it anonymous. Well, and they use the word private because they're a bunch of douchebags and they just don't understand the difference between anonymity and privacy. So, yeah, we'll make it anonymous, but that means that global and international trade cannot use it because there is no record of a transaction to a supplier. Yeah, and then if the supplier you know, doesn't fulfill the contractual obligations, there is no legal recourse. Because you cannot prove that the transaction was created or who it went to. In fact, the recipients can't even prove they received the transaction from the vendor. because it's anonymous. It's been completely lost. It's an absolute bag of shit. And if you don't believe me, I have another soundbite waiting for you right here. Check it out. This is what Roger said.
I have a question here from Satoshi, defender of Bitcoin. He said, if a cryptocurrency is anonymous, like BCH, I don't think BCH is anonymous, but maybe there is something.
Check out cashfusion.com and you combine that with reusable payment codes and you get Bitcoin Cash in the same sort of ballpark of privacy as Monero. It's really awesome. So you can check out Cashfusion. And I always get it wrong. I think it's .com, but it might be .org. So you can check both. Cashfusion.com.
Okay, awesome. So BCH, maybe using Cash Fusion and XMR, if they're anonymous, how can a business get legal recourse against a supplier if the supplier defaults and no proof on the transaction exists because anon?
Yeah, if you want your cryptocurrency to be perfectly legal for everything all the time, just go use your Visa card. Just go use your PayPal, right? What do you need a cryptocurrency for? You can do all of it with a centralized, fully legal and fully compliant payment platform, right? So go use PayPal. I think you've missed the entire point. The entire point of cryptocurrencies is that by technological design, they are beyond the reach of the law. They're above the law. That's why, imagine if Bitcoin could have been shut down by governments, they probably would have shut it down from right out of the gate.
That is absolutely outrageous. It is so wrong. It is just irresponsibly and recklessly, idiotically wrong. Is all I can say to that.
And it's the fact that Bitcoin can't be shut down.
Oof, someone's going to learn the hard way.
So we should ask the BSVers this. If they pass a law saying BSV needs to shut down their blockchain, are they going to obey and shut down their BSV blockchain?
Yes, because if the law is telling us that it needs to be shut down, there is something very, very wrong. Like, you make it legally compliant so that it doesn't break the law.
I hope the answer would be no. Which is just, a lot of the stuff I see from some of these BSVers are silly. But then there's other BSV fans that,
Roger there, trying to be a nice boy, patronising. Oh, some of these BSVs are just silly. Oh, do one.
Very, very sympathetic to their way of thinking. But the ones that say that the blockchains all need to be legally compliant about everything all the time, just go use your Visa card.
Absolute fool. I literally, let me just explain this for once. Money, as in fiat currency, is the problem that the world has currently got because it is printed. And when it is printed, the supply is increased. And when the supply increases, the value decreases. Now, as the value decreases, that's what causes problems because all the businesses are trying to make profits. Now, if you're trying to make profit and the value of the money that you're using as a medium of exchange is decreasing in value, it means that your business costs are constantly increasing. Like, the rent of your premises is constantly increasing because the value of the money is constantly going down. Therefore, you are constantly treading water, trying to make more and more and more and more money. But there is a limit as to how much profit a business can make, how much market it can take. And there is also a limit as to how far you can cut your costs. So eventually, businesses end up collapsing and the larger, stronger businesses end up swallowing up everything. It is fiat currency. It is money that causes the majority of the world's problems. And let's say particularly power and control of that money. Those who actually can print whatever they want. And as we all know, the Fed does, has done like $1 trillion worth of off-balance sheet transactions. Now, why would the Federal Reserve do off-balance sheet transactions? Why wouldn't they just simply put everything on chain? And why would Building 7, the World Trade Center, suddenly come down when conveniently there is a $2.3 trillion hole in the US military accounts and all the account records being kept in that very building that came down? Well, I can see a problem there. And this is the problem with money and power. And if you wonder why I refer to a B crash as B crash, that's what Roger calls it. Have a listen.
And we're going to really spread Bitcoin crash across the entire country here in Antigua.
There we go. He said it. Bitcoin crash. I actually feel sorry for Antigua, to be honest with you, if that's what his intentions are. So let's see what CSW Satoshi Nakamoto himself says about money and the issues that it creates and what Bitcoin, as in his creation, has solved. Let's have a listen here, shall we?
This is what it all comes down to. See, what people don't understand is Bitcoin with a stable protocol takes away power. If no one can change the protocol, not me, not God, there's no power in money. Money is all about power. And this is one of the things Bitcoin has done. It has removed that power. It will remove that power globally.
There we go. It will remove that power globally. This is a commodity for all the world to use. It is common to everyone. It is cash in its purest form. It is the greatest form of money that this world has ever seen. And again, on the throughout the year on my own learnings of Bitcoin, I didn't really understand the significance of the word cash used in the white paper to define Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. As I've said before, cash is the most liquid form of money. Money has to be neutral. If money has a central point of authority, control, or influence, it is a security, a token at best. It cannot have any power, which means people like Blockstream and Roger Ver and his mates will try and tamper with it. It was gonna happen, but it's basically it's the greatest honey trap the world has ever seen. So money only has value if it's neutral, and in order for something to be neutral, it just simply has to be maintained. It cannot be controlled. So whereas you have Blockstream controlling BTC and you have Roger Ver and his mates controlling BCH, there is only people maintaining Bitcoin. Bitcoin can be forked. The protocol can be forked again if you get a douchebag shitcoiner with shit for brains doing what Blockstream and Roger Ver and his mates have done. Now, money only has value if it's neutral and everyone can use it. If not everyone can use it, it is of no value to anyone, because an alternative solution will just simply have to be made. Therefore, money has to be the fastest, the cheapest, and the most scaled in order for all the world to use it, so that there is no exclusion. It is not too expensive for anyone to use. The whole world must be able to use it. And when the whole world is your market, that's when value is added. So let's hear what CSW's opinion is on adding value to Bitcoin. Have a listen to what he says here.
At the end of the day, we own a lot of Bitcoin. The simple thing is, if we make the network scale, if we make it bigger, my main compensation, more than anything anyone could ever pay me, is the price of Bitcoin goes up. So that's my pure drive. I want Bitcoin not to go up to 10,000 or 100,000. I want it to be worth millions per Bitcoin. That's it. And that's what we spend money for. Very simple.
It is that simple. So if you want to smoke crack in your own home, if you want to be a douchebag and do whatever it is you want to do, make some money, build yourself an island, and make your own laws up. Do what you want. Have a place of anarchy where people are just simply going around robbing, shooting, killing, engaging in human trafficking, child abuse, black markets, human organs on the black market, kidnapping, robbery. I mean, just all these ridiculous things. See how many people want to live there. It won't take long before. I mean, you've got to be really stupid to want to live in an anarchist society. I mean, absolutely ridiculous. And out of chaos comes order all the time. You cannot live in chaos because it just makes no sense whatsoever. It is absolutely insane. So let's have a quick look. And again, with the issues with Ripple and all that going on at the moment, let's have a look at this coin crab market. Here we go. And let's just quickly remind ourselves, what is it shitcoiners say?
Hey, hey, hey.
Hey, hey, hey.
I'm going to play that on every show. I love it. So I've listed, just like some shitcoins, on this chart here. These are listed in terms of their value. And as you can see, the only two cryptocurrencies on the entire market that are commodities are Bitcoin, which is BSV, and Litecoin. Now let's just have a listen to what Charlie Lee, who was the creator of Litecoin, said about it. Here we go.
You created Litecoin, right? So this has to be something like you're incredibly passionate about.
Yeah, as most of you probably know, I kind of created it just for fun, right? I didn't really expect it to become anything.
I know what he expected it to become. He expected it to become the world's greatest and biggest exit scam. Like, absolutely massive. And again, you know, Charles Hoskinson has tried to do the same, but the mistake he made was the fact that only IOHK can mine Cardano. And they did an ICO. It is absolutely a security. So he is never going to get away with it. Whereas Charlie Lee will. Out clean. Never encouraged anybody to buy it. Never did an ICO. Just sat there looking innocent as though butter wouldn't melt in his mouth. Yeah, well, you know, it's silver to Bitcoin's gold. It's Bitcoin's little brother. Yeah, I kind of didn't really expect it to be. It was just a joke. Really? Just a joke. Is that why you exit scams out at $98, $155, and $350? Absolutely out clean. Because I think he knew that Bitcoin had a huge hill to climb. He knew that it was going to be attacked. And it was just like, well, you know, that's the Mac Daddy. If I just make, like, you know, Bitcoin's little brother, you know, while all the political crap is happening with Corecoin at that one point, you know, Litecoin, like the snake that it is just going to slide in the door and then I'm going to exit scam the whole lot. Like, just absolutely, well, that's what he did. But all of these other shitcoins, they are all securities, the whole lot. The law is coming for them. And some people are saying, oh, you know, it's going to take a while, or, oh, you know, I think that, you know, that court case, they might just get a slap on the wrist and, you know, they'll just simply carry on as normal. No idea that if it is a security, which it is anyway, it has no fundamental value. It cannot economically sustain the network it runs on. Bitcoin is a medium of exchange. A medium of exchange is a tool that enables, encourages, and accelerates the facilitation of trade. Now, with it being a tool, people will just simply use the tool that fulfills that trade in the best way. So they will use the fastest, the cheapest, and the most scaled, and the one that is most common to everyone. The one that everybody uses. And if it can't win at every single one of those points, then something new will just simply come along. That is it. But there is nothing that can compete with Bitcoin fundamentally, because it is the size and neutral growth of the network that gives it its fundamental value. What gives it its technical value is the speed, cost, and scale. But the fundamental value is the neutral growth, because that is something that no other network can compete with. Like, that is something that neither the US government or the Chinese government can just simply create themselves overnight. That is the fundamental value. And that is why it will only be Bitcoin. And the entire market will literally collapse and be swallowed into Bitcoin, which is BSV. So, now that I've explained that, let's have a look at these figures. For any newbies, this is the crypto forecast. The strength of the system, the health of the network. I've not looked at these today. Ooh, Bitcoin's price going up. Nice. Okay, so actually I want the price to come down a little bit to almost 180. I want it to come down a little bit because I'm going in soon. Just need my money. So we've got Bitcoin hash rate 2.2%, Bcrash 1.2, Corecoin 98.6. Network nodes, same as they ever were since the 15th of November 2018 when Bitcoin got its protocol back, but under a different ticker this time, which is BSV. Love BSV, by the way. So we got 2.5% of the nodes on Bitcoin, 10.8% of the nodes on Bcrash, 86.7% of the nodes on Corecoin. Transactions, get in there. Get in there. Winning. 44.9% of the transactions on Bitcoin, 15.1% on Bcrash because it's a piece of shit, and 40% on KuCoin because that is also a piece of shit. Block size, you've got 35% for Bitcoin, 13% for Bcrash, and 52% on KuCoin. Ugh, just beating this. Now, never mind. Got to give them something. Right, let's play spot the biggest block on Bcrash. They'll be lucky to have mined over a megabyte, but let's see what Hathor is mining. Yep, Hathor is still mining blocks with data in. So just randomly, I can see a 712. Anything else bigger than that? Oh, an 888. Like the casino. Right, let's see if there's anything bigger than an 888 that I can just skim down the numbers. No. Woof, very little data on Bcrash here. So 0.8 of a megabyte is all it got. But I mean, you know, various. It'll be interesting to see what the competition is like on the in the hash rate. And then we'll look over at KuCoin, and it hasn't changed because they've purposely given themselves a 1 megabyte restriction. Oh, look at this Foundry USA pool. Oh, must be a new one coming on. More shitcoiners not having a clue. Oh dear, oh dear. Right, let's play spot the biggest block on Bitcoin. I can see a 4.2 megabyte block straight away from Tau. Great stuff. Oh, we've got an 8.9 from Tau. Even better. Doubling up. Hathor still mining blocks with data in. Oh, pretty good, pretty good. And yeah, that licks it. So, oh, sweet. Right, let's crack on with these graphs then. Hash rate by network. Yeah, hash rate just simply follows price, which follows value. And as we know, Bitcoin is the only one with any real value. Proof of work by network. KuCoin and Bcrash will just simply stop literally overnight. Bcrash versus Bitcoin hash rate. Bcrash versus Bitcoin proof of work. Fees, check it out. Bitcoin, it is 28,000 times cheaper to transact on Bitcoin than KuCoin because KuCoin is an absolute piece of crap. Hence the coin crap chart. It is currently 6.9% more profitable to mine on KuCoin, although why anybody wants that is beyond me, but miners have got to cover their costs, and if it's more profitable, then can't really fault them on that. For the moment, anyway. Daily average Bitcoin block size by network. KuCoin winning. Daily Bitcoin transactions by network. Bitcoin winning. Woo! Daily average Bitcoin transactions per block. Bitcoin winning. Fees USD. Bitcoin smashing it. Fees Satoshis. Bitcoin smashing it. Block reward ratio. Again, it will come with time, which follows price, which follows value. Blockchain growth by network. Yeah, just laughing at Bcrash there. Absolutely hilarious. And then 7 days. So this is global hash rate. 7 days. F2 pool Binance up there. Huobi macking it hard this week. BTC.com pulling their socks up, pooling. So it looks like just Binance and Huobi pushing BTC.com and pooling down into 4th and 5th respectively. Global hash rate 24 hours. Antpool loving it for whatever reason. Same with BTC.com. That they're both Bitmain pooling up there, so it's just Antpool in the mix. So a KuCoin should look very similar to that. Yeah, almost identical, but it just looks like Huobi and Vibe BTC have switched places for a little bit. Other than that, like everything is looking the same. Bcrash, oh, Antpool on there, SBI crypto on there, macking it for whatever reason. An absolute shitcoin. I mean, it's just, you know, there's no reason for there's no economic reason for anybody to mine on that chain other than to just destroy it. It's an absolute piece of shit. An absolute piece of shit. I say that with utter disdain in my voice, as you can probably tell. Bitcoin. Right, here we go. So Huobi and Tau macking it out, fighting for position over Hathor that normally takes a big one. We got SBI crypto in there. Wow. SBI also mining Bcrash for whatever reason. But Mempool, Norpool in there. Good to see them up in their game. Binance on the chain. Just need to shake them off. Shake them off. We could do with shaking BTC.com off as well. You know, via BTC, I don't know. I think that, like I said, I think they're just like spreading their bets, to be honest with you. you know, I mean, the whole thing is an absolute shit show at the moment. Literally, you know, BSV is the only genuine digital commodity. It's the only one that's got any fundamental value at all. So for any newbies watching this, this is the blockchain working live in front of our very eyes. So the rectangular vertical blocks we're seeing moving along the top of the screen here. These are the transactions being recognized by the nodes on the network. Below it is are the organizations generating those transactions. So we can see and predict ecology, plain text, unrecognized. And then next to them we have the transaction ID, the input, the output, the type, and the op return. Once the transactions are recognized by the nodes on the network, or by the top here, we can see there's like about 3 transactions a second. I've seen this as high as 3,000. And when you consider that Visa and MasterCard are only capable of 1,500, it shows you the potential that the network has got. Absolutely huge. Once the transactions are recognized by the nodes on the network, they're then thrown into the meme pool. And once they're in the meme pool, they are then competed for by the miners and the payment processors in order to put them in a block, put the block on the blockchain, and win the Coinbase, which is the block reward that is currently 6.25 Bitcoin. So if we scroll over this 8.9 megabyte block, you can see in the highlighted rectangular box below it, it says hash, height, mined by, size, time, TX count, and total fees. Total fees in the block being $7.72 in that one. Now, over time, the point is that Bitcoin subsidizes the network until the network can be economically self-sustaining. And the way it becomes self-sustaining is by increasing utility on the network. And the way you attract people to the network is by making it more valuable. And the technical things that add value to it, or the technical aspects, are the speed, cost, and scale. Which is why every effort is put towards increasing speed, increasing scale, and reducing the cost of transactions so that more and more people come in to use it. And as more and more people come in to use it, the volume of the transactions goes up, and therefore the total fees in the block will increase with usage. And as we have seen on graphs already, it is anticipated, here we go, that the transaction fees in the block will surpass the block reward in Q1 2021. Check it out. So we are anticipating huge volumes of transactions on chain this quarter. Hugely exciting, because shitcoiners don't understand that, you know, as the block reward gets cut in half, that's your clue. You know, the block reward halving says it all really in what it is. It halves the amount of rewards, and it's not a case of scarcity make number go up, because how is number going to go up when there is literally no block reward left? And there will be no block reward by the year 2140. So then what? What? Like, just make hay while the sun shines? You know, just create the biggest bubble in history. You know, the largest Ponzi scheme the world has ever known, the largest and the longest. What an absolute load of crap. But, you know, don't call them shitcoiners with shit for brains for nothing. Alright, let's have a look at some other metrics here for newbies who might be coming into my show. Oh, that's interesting. What's going on here? So this is BitInfo charts. They show you various metrics where you can literally compare all the you know, crypto crap on the in the crypto sphere. And if you go to the rich list, you can actually see the number of wallets with bitcoins and shitcoins in them. Compare where you are. Obviously, you want to get as many Bitcoin as you can, which is BSV. And then we go to BitInfo charts. Let's see this. You can see all the shitcoins on the top, which we can compare. And then if you scroll over the blue tabs on the left, we're going to click on transactions, and we're going to go to log, and we'll go to 3 years, and we'll take out Doge. I mean, even why they put Doge in there? What a joke. We only want Bitcoin, which is BSV, and we'll put BCH in there just for lulz, so you can compare it to that shitcoin, which is Litecoin. But if you're an investor, this is when you buy, oh, what's that purple line? Oh, that's gone up rather quickly, rather rapidly in comparison to these other shitcoins. What's all that about? Well, that's shot up because that is Bitcoin. That is the genuine Bitcoin. The only reason it starts here, as I said, because this actually represents the start of the new ticker symbol and the new price. But the chain goes right the way back to the Genesis block. So this is all it is. This is the new price, the new value, the new transaction volume that started on the network, and it had to build its way up from the bottom. That is value. That is development. That is investment. That is intelligence. Right there. And see where the transactions are at the moment. So also they're on a massive increase at the moment. So yeah, we shall surpass Ethereum by the end of the year. I think we'll surpass Ethereum within this quarter, because Ethereum is an absolute piece of shit. Gas fees are absolutely through the roof. It cannot work. It has no fundamental value anyway, because it is moving to proof of stake. There is no competition between the stakeholders of the network. Therefore, they represent a centralized group that have control over the network, which means that China and America will simply never use it. It is not a commodity. It is not common to everyone. That's the whole point. For the first time ever, it is digital data that has value, because that data is what gives people sovereignty over their data. Now, when you consider everything is digital these days, it will become the most valuable thing in the world. And when value is added to it, it means that you can buy more valuable things with it, like nice cars, nice houses, have nice holidays, all that kind of stuff. You will never ever be able to do that with any shitcoin. Because shitcoins have no fundamental value. They will collapse, and they are going to collapse. Like I said, just like the Titanic. Don't ever be thinking that it can't go down, or like Roger Ver saying, oh, you know, it can't be shut down. It can. It will. And later on, I will say it has. That's if it doesn't get wiped off the face of the planet first anyway. So there we go. That's that bit done. We're going to leave it there for the YouTube trailer, because that's the fundamental statistics and data analysis gone through. Let's get on with some Twitter gossip. Right, so we'll leave it there. Hope you've enjoyed the show. And yeah, 1 hour, 20 minutes. As ever, be aware, take care, stay safe out there. Joy given, same time tomorrow. Catch you later. BuyBSV.live, the best place to buy Bitcoin SV online. Get paid for your content in Bitcoin and watch the full episode on Streamanity for just 20 cents. Go to www.satoshi.tv. See the link in the description below. Bitcoin, one world, one chain.
Yeah! One vision.